I'm doing good. Just played the show and it was awesome. So, yeah, killer.
Was it a great show?
The show was good. Yeah, it was. Well, we have better shows than other ones, but what counts for me is that the crowd, starts moving and that there's a certain kind of energy going on. And yeah, I definitely thought it was good. People kind of got into it from the start. So that's always good to watch, from up there to see if they're slamming their heads against each other and, kicking the shit out of each other. That's what I like. So yeah, it was good.
All right. Yeah, you got the chance to play here in Switzerland at short notice, so as replace for Ill Disposed. So how do you feel about that?
I don't know. It's about the same as any other gig, It's well, yeah, it's short notice, but it's not like if we book a show like 3 months ahead that every day I'm thinking like, oh, I have a show coming up. No, I start thinking about a gig like that maybe a week before or a day before, like, oh, we got the show tomorrow, and then that's when I really start focusing on it. But no, for us, we were available, and if they ask us and if we can do a good gig and if it's an open air fest in the summertime, why not? We just rent a van and get the hell out there. Yeah.
All right. How are the feedbacks for your latest release, and are you happy about everything goes?
So far, so good, and we had some changes on the newest album. First of all, the cover is a really obvious change. We kind of went back to the really over-the-top, brutal corpses and body parts and all that kind of stuff. And with the music, I don't know, the whole album sounds a little bit more brutal to me than the last two albums because they were kind of balanced. We tried to do a lot of improvements on the arrangements, and I think we succeeded on the two before that, but with this one, I don't know, every song has a lot of speed and there's a lot of brutality going on during the whole song. And well, the responses so far, actually, a lot of magazines say it's our best record so far. So that's everything you can wish for as a band, And we are really excited about how it came out, And we went to a new studio, the Split Second Sound Studios, and it's owned by Jochem Jacobs, and he's also guitar player for the band Textures. And it's the first time that we recorded an album now there, and I gotta say the sound is amazing. He did a really awesome job, and he was a really cool guy to work with. He has a lot of energy. He drinks a lot of Red Bull all day, so he's pumped up like, yeah, the whole time. And that's what we need in a studio, Not only relaxed and serious. I need someone who kicks my ass when I'm behind the drum kit. And yeah, I think you can hear it, I can hear it. So hopefully many people will hear the same,
All right. Yeah, what's your main goal behind Severe Torture?
Making brutal death metal and enjoying it. There's no other goal. Because the ultimate goal is to be as big as Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel, but you're never going to be as big as them. Because, in my opinion, these bands kind of develop the style, and for us, they are still our gods, bands like that. The late 80s, early 90s bands, and, we are a fan of the genre. And we are still fans, I still buy death metal CDs every week, and I check out every band from big to small on MySpace and, see if there's any new stuff that can interest me. And so I just consider us one of the many bands that just do their thing on stage and just try to be as brutal as possible. And as long as we enjoy it and we get the same group together that we have now for the last, almost 13 years, then for me, that's a reason to go on and on and on, So yeah, as long as we have ideas, we just make brutal albums, but we don't have an ultimate goal. Well, yeah, there's some countries we want to visit, Maybe that's a goal, I'd like to go to Australia and Japan. That's our goal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, where do you got the inspiration for your songs?
For me personally, D-Side has been a really big inspiration in the past. The first death metal bands I heard, I was listening to Iron Maiden and Metallica as the two major metal bands when I was younger. And then all of a sudden it started changing into death metal, and then I heard some old Grave, some old Hypocrisy, some old Morbid Angel. And then I first heard D-Side. And that for me was something new because this guy, Glenn, when he was doing the first few albums, really sounded like he hated something. There was hate, you know, and all the other stuff was just brutal. I didn't really hear the hate. How weird that might sound, you know, because a death grunt is hate, you know, but still. And for me, that is a big inspiration, you know, because the subjects also in D-side is something that bothers me a lot, you know. I completely hate every form of religion and most people that practice it, you know, because there's only a few that can keep it for themselves. But I consider all these people idiots, and because there's so much of it in the world, you see this dumbness in front of you on TV and everywhere, you know, that irritates me. And they say usually that irritation is the best inspiration. And that kind of counts for me as well. But as far as the music goes, we get our inspiration from all the old bands, starting with Death, Morbid Angel, D-Side, a little bit of everything, I guess, you know.
How does the cooperation with the new label work?
Good, really good. Actually, our singer just told me that he met a few of the guys of Season of Mist on the Partisan Fest, and he told me they were great guys. And you know, what we notice now is that the communication is really good. Everything they tell us that they're going to do, they do it. So we have nothing to complain. And the album looks really nice. You know, they made a nice digipack, and yeah, can't complain. You know, so far so good. I hope I can meet him soon on tour. You know, so I have a chance to see the faces with the names who are under the emails. You know, but yeah, so far we're happy.
Is there any new tour planned?
We got a tour planned in November. We're going to Mexico for a week, and it's going to be the second time that we do that. And we have a few single shows coming up, a few in Holland. I think there's one in Germany. And for the rest, everything still has to be booked. So we're actually looking for a lot of stuff to do in 2011. Also because this year there's been a lot of other stuff going on, like one of our guitar players got a second kid. You know, we recorded an album, and we all have jobs, you know, so we have to combine it. So I think the most stuff in Europe we're gonna do for Slaughter, we're gonna do in 2011. Yeah.
Okay. What would be the greatest thing to experience with the band?
After we released our first demo, or actually the second demo, we got signed by the Plague Records, and we released Feasting on Blood. That's it right there. Because ask me, before we started Severe Torture, if anyone had told me, like, yeah, you guys are actually gonna write you guys are gonna manage to write 10 songs. First we were like, how the hell are we gonna write 10 songs of our own? We just played cover songs, so that everything is new, you know. And then it's like, wow, what if? You know, you start thinking, what if we actually write an album? What if we actually have a brutal cover? What if the album gets pressed and we have a CD in our hands? And what if a label picks that up and puts us on tour with one of the bands that we are big fans of? No, that's not gonna happen, you know. And then everything happens, and more and more and more. And we do another tour, we do another album. We go to Earache Records, we go to Season of Mist, we go to the States, to Canada. So dude, I can die and I'm happy. So, and that was after the first tour and after the first album, because I didn't really think it was gonna be like that, you know. So everything we do is a bonus.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. And the last words are you to the fans.
Stay fucking brutal. Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, man. Thanks everybody here in Switzerland, and hopefully see you guys out there soon on tour. And we will do our best to blast your fucking hats off. Stay brutal.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you too, man.
We have a little present.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, yeah. Our magazine is called Spoon Magazine.
Spoon magazine. Oh,
And
so you got a spoon?
yeah, that's a spoon.
Nice. Oh, it's on there as well.
Yeah.
Nice. I have an attic. My attic is like half a museum. All my old broken cymbals, the snares I used on every demo, all the souvenirs I bought on tours, everything is like there, like in a museum. So this is definitely gonna get a good spot there.
Okay, yeah.
I'll make sure to make a picture and Facebook it or something, you know.
Yeah.
The spoon. Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.